Are we up? We're up. We're live. Awesome. Oh, snap. My thing's all right, never mind. Hey, my name is Wayne. Welcome back to the Resonant Pixel Show. Super excited to have a great topic today. It's funny, I was not really sure which topic I wanted to cover. I've got like this massive list. And this is one I've been wanting to do for a while. And I didn't feel like it was mature enough. But DIYers, people who are non-techie or business owners or friends of a business owner who fashion themselves techies, maybe not quite so much. There's a huge gradient of folks out there. Face three big issues. I'm going to do my thumbnail now. How about that? 3. Whoa. I don't know. We'll see what that looks like. Look, there are 3 major issues with Squarespace that people, DIYers, right? Not professional designers, not Squarespace experts, normal human beings face when setting up a Squarespace website. And I'm going to cover those 3 today. The 3 are, at a high level, design paralysis, we'll call it, like customization confusion. The second one being content strategy and copywriting. I've got a little bit on that. And the third one being SEO and visibility concerns. And that isn't what you think. So stick around to the end. This one probably not going to take that long. We're only going to be here a few minutes, I think. 10, maybe. Well, 15. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, I talk to a lot of business owners, and a lot of people start a Squarespace website and then get stuck, usually with one of these 3 things. And they come to me, they come to my company, resonantpixel.co, and they say, I need help. I'm stuck, or setting this up isn't what I thought it was going to be. And while Squarespace does an amazing job of advertising, and they have by far the easiest program to set up on the internet, I think, when it comes to a basic website, it's still difficult for some people to communicate. It's like ask somebody how their day's going and they think, it's going fine. You get some vagary, right? Nobody's going to be like, my day is trash, man. So look, design paralysis. Number 1, customization and confusion is a real issue that Squarespace users often find. They have a ton. I don't know how many beautiful templates Squarespace has, but it is like dozens. And it might even be 100. Who knows? I've never counted them. But choosing one can be overwhelming. So oftentimes people will pick one that is either categorically themed in a related industry or exact industry match, or there's a photo or a headline or something in there that matches something that relates to their category. If it's fitness or some other type of health, or if it's business and bookkeeping and whatever, there are different types of templates in there that fit those themes generally. And people would just pick that one, whether or not it's right for their brand. More savvy people, even if they're not designers, may see specific layout or typography and say, oh, I know I want sans serif. I want a font without the little flat spots on the bottom, basically. Or I want that. I want something that looks like Times or Times New Roman or, Georgia. Then they'll pick that one. Or they want something that's brown or blue or orange or green. And then they'll pick that one. And it can be overwhelming. But even once they pick that, and even if they pick that cool AI site designer tool that Squarespace has launched, once they're in there, they have all of this stock template content and a few pages. Usually there's a couple pages: home page, about page, contact page. And they don't know what sections, what are blocks, and the style interface can be confusing. And even still, they don't necessarily know what typography or color palette, even if it comes to customizing it, they may not know what they want or what suits their business well. So they get stuck on that, and that's where the sort of design paralysis comes in. Next comes, they'll struggle like, oh, I picked a template I like, and they'll change the text and they'll change the photo around to be like their logo, or they'll change like a hero photo at the top to be one of their jobs or their projects, or, customer something or other. And what else to change is overwhelming. So they often get halfway through changing just the content on the homepage and say, I don't know what else to change the content that's in there to. Or they just start deleting it, and then they have a homepage with just a photo and a title and no real content. Google's not going to index it. So people usually fall on one side or the other. They'll delete all of the content that is the stock template content and just put in a couple of things and call it a day. Or they won't know. They'll assume they have to change every content block out to be something about their business, but they don't necessarily know what to put in there. So that's another form of paralysis. That's more of like the customization confusion. And they don't have a sitemap going in. Rarely have they thought through a sitemap or even wireframed out their pages and thought through, well, a homepage, you and I know, is an index. This is what you can find inside this website. Here's sort of an excerpt of each. And you click through and you go to deep link to the interior page of the site, the about, the contact, the products and services, and learn more. Non-techie or business owners who are moving really fast, maybe struggle with marketing, that is a huge oversight on their part. So once they got their template all pre-built and it's all in there and it's ready for them to update and customize, they just get stuck. So that's the first one: design paralysis, customization confusion. The next one that they get stuck on, number two in the program, number one in your heart, number two in the program, is content strategy and copywriting. And I touched on both of those when I mentioned wireframes in the first one, but this is a little different. So with owners get stuck on the idea that they don't know how to write compelling headlines, or maybe they do, but then it comes to writing paragraph copy, they get stuck. The problem is having the marketing experience to know how to write a really good, benefits-driven headline. It's really difficult to do. It takes a lot of experience, and they'll just put in like about us at the top of the about page instead of something more compelling about what you get if you engage with the business. Same thing goes for every other single page. Contact us, our services, completely mailed it in, but they don't know any better, right? So that kind of content strategy is something that doesn't serve the business very well. If you search Google for our services or contact us or about us, is like multiple millions. I don't even know how many millions. I'm not gonna do it right now, but there's a lot of pages, and it doesn't say enough about what the business does. So when coaching someone through that, I'm like, all right, what is it? Not what do you do on the about page? Like, don't say about us. I wouldn't say something like, what do you do? I would say, what happens to someone's business or personal life or whatever it is that you solve? What happens to them after they engage with you? What's their big takeaway and their outcome? Then the light bulb goes off, right? Like, oh, well, they get X, Y, and Z, and they're able to go A, B, C. Done. So when it comes to copywriting and content strategy, they'll often end up hiring help, or worse, going to AI and just taking its hallucination and popping that in there. I hope that they engage over time and slowly iterate and improve on that content, but it is a grind. So the third one, SEO and visibility concerns. SEO is an interesting one because it's It's often sold as science, but it really is more art than science because the bulk of it happens in a black box. So I would say Squarespace has some really solid, albeit basic, built-in SEO tools. But there's a lot of confusion. People don't know how to use them because they can't visualize the outcome. So title, description go unfilled when it comes to page level customization, and every single one of them is just filled with the default, which is okay. The default, the theme that is set up in Squarespace by default that builds your titles and descriptions. It's not great. You'd be better served using something like SEO Space, but that is absolutely for designers and more advanced people. That is not something a low-tech business owner is going to go and commission, right? So having URL slugs that are really good, especially from a blog perspective, having optimized images, knowing the file sizes and restrictions of images, knowing what alt text is. I don't think I've ever opened a website built by a business owner or a DIYer, we'll call them, that had images that had alt text in the image. I don't recall ever seeing that one time. It's just not something they know about. And the new AI tool in Squarespace that I think it's only available, maybe it's not. It's good, and it allows you to do some things from a bulk editing standpoint, but I think it's still a little ways away because it isn't necessarily specific to the brand. And that's where the real win comes in. When you're tying in alt text to the reason the page exists, to the benefit outcome for their customer, that's when the rubber really starts to meet the road. So titles, descriptions, URL slugs, image file sizes, alt text, none of that stuff is done usually by a DIYer. And they'll say stuff like, my website is live and I'm not finding myself in Google. They don't know anything about the Google sandbox. They don't know anything about how much content they need on a page to even be indexed. It's usually like 300 words or so, right? And they don't necessarily understand internal linking strategies or backlinking strategies. So there is a really good help document in the Squarespace forum, and the Squarespace help site, that gives you a checklist of things to do to make sure your site is in great SEO shape. And there's even a link to it in the settings of the website. And there's a link to it if you actually go to advanced and title for the page, but they just don't go into the settings. I'd be surprised if they even knew what happened if they clicked on the gear in the page. Like a lot of people, Squarespace does a lot, but a lot of it is hidden. And that is a side effect of the top of the design of the CMS being so clean and so nice and pleasurable to use. The trade-off is it's not button city like Microsoft Word or WordPress, where you got a million options and every button that does anything, like in Microsoft Word or like Google Sheets, this is like a million buttons. The button is at the top level to do pretty much anything. And Squarespace doesn't function that way. It's designed to be graceful and lovely. And the trade-off is a lot of the features are buried. A couple of clicks in. And once you know where they are, it's cake. It's no problem. But for new users, the first time they're using the application, it can be difficult and confusing to find. This would be another major reason why people come to me and my business, to help them sort of overcome the paralysis or the feeling of being stuck in having this content or SEO set up, or their, design paralysis issues solved. They come to me, they're like, hey, my website's not showing up in Google. And you go look at it, and every single page has 8 words on it. Yeah, that's why. Let's help you overcome that. Let's fix this. And it's not even difficult to fix. It just, they don't know. So those are the 3 reasons why I don't want to say 3 reasons. Those are the 3 big issues Squarespace has. And I know they have a lot of content to try and overcome these issues in the help documents and in the forum, but people have to proactively seek that out. And, you know, they're busy. They're flying by the seat of their pants. I'm going to set up a website this weekend. And then they get halfway through and it stalls and they get upset because they paid, or maybe their trial is about to expire and they're in a pinch. They're in a bind. So those are the 3 big issues. That's what I got today. AI segment. Can I do a brief AI segment? To be honest with you, I have slowed down my use of LLMs and even Get Known and Kin. I just been feeling overwhelmed. I don't know if it's like AI overwhelm or AI saturation. I'm in a space where I don't know what the next step is with it. I've struggled to make good use of agents, and I've struggled to make the promise of AI being an intern real, I guess I'd say. So interesting space to be in. We'll see. It's also Monday morning, and I could probably use a little more coffee and maybe some water. We had someone in here. They're gone now. I don't know where you went, buddy, but have a nice week. Struggle bus. Yeah, maybe it's just that. I slept like absolute shit last night, so kind of tired. There might be a nap in my future this afternoon. But it's spring, and now everybody wants to do stuff. So there's like dinner plans every day, it seems like. And my birthday was last week, so maybe I'm still just reeling. You know, tired from extending myself during allergy season. Anyway, that's all I've got today. Should we try a thumbnail again? 3. I don't know what face to make. I never know what face to make. 1. How about 1, 2, 3? How about the 3? The 3. How about like that? Oh, it's kind of cool. I might do that one. All right, listen, have a great week. I will see you Wednesday, 11 a.m. right here. Same time, same channel, same cliched whatever. So also I don't know if you saw my pot broke. My brother was in here using my cool dark blue wall to take a photo of some guitar work he did. And he knocked the planter over and it smashed on the ground. And my plant is sad. And it's in a bucket until I want to buy a red planter to match my cool chair. See, red chair. I want a planter that kind of matches. I was thinking, the dark blue and the dark red, kind of a cool color combo. Excuse me. But this one smashed. Sad. Oh yeah. See you Wednesday. That was a sidetrack. That was a total sidetrack. 11 a.m. Wednesday. Be here. I'll be here. You be here.